Hey, it's Paul from howtoplaybassdotcom. Today's lesson we're going to look at the commitments version of Mustang Sally. Last week I looked at the Wilson Pickett version of Mustang Sally. The commitments version was a bit more up-tempo and a bit more dynamic and hard-hitting. It's got a very subtly different bass line, some ideas that you could take if you're playing more R&B style bass line, some of the transition ideas you could take to the Wilson Pickett kind of thing. You can mix and match the two, come up with a composite bass line that you could use on whichever way you're doing it. But sometimes it's an interesting exercise to look at how different bass players have approached the same song, and you get different ideas from that. Can be really interesting. Before we get started, if you're not already a subscriber to my free monthly easy, click the link that's underneath the video and head over to my website. Subscribe by entering your email address and your name. In return for doing that, you'll get a series of videos and of song tutorials in video and PDF format. Plus, there's a monthly song tutorial in video and PDF format. All that stuff's exclusive to people who subscribe, so it's worth doing. So click that link underneath the video and go and do that, and then come back and we'll get started with the intro for the commitments version of Mustang Sally. Okay, so the intro pattern for the commitments version of Mustang Sally is based on 4 notes: C, 3rd fret of the A string, F sharp, 2nd fret of the E string, G, 3rd fret of the E string, B flat, 1st fret of the A string. And what you're doing is you're playing the C on the downbeat, and then you've got the F sharp, the G, the B flat on the ands of beat 2, 3 and 4. So you'd get something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple pattern. Work on getting those. Use a metronome to start off, maybe, or a drum beat with the hi-hats ticking on the 8th note, so you can get those notes on the 8th note. And the other thing is to make sure that they only last for an 8th note. So you should have a clear space between the F sharp and the G and the B flat. The B flat leads back to the C, and there shouldn't be space really between the C and the F sharp. So if it sounds like this, you haven't got the spaces. You really need those spaces for the line to work in the context it's played in, if you're playing in a kind of commitment style. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to look at how this line's used in the verse format. And obviously we've got the transitions to different chords, so we need to just check those transitions and what's played on the different chord sections. Okay, if you watched the Wilson Pickett version last week, you'll know that the verse is a 20-bar format. First 8 bars are in C, and for the first 7 bars we've got that riff that's used in the intro, or the 1-bar groove, played 7 times. So that's 4. That's 6. Then on the 8th one, we're going to play something like this. So we're just playing C, F sharp, G, G, F sharp, which leads us back to F. So C, F sharp, G, G, F sharp, leads us back to F. The next 4 bars are on an F chord, F7 chord, and we're going to play something like this. we've got the same rhythm going through those 4 chords. First 3 bars of the F chord, we're playing F, B, C, E flat. F's the first fret of the E string, B and C, second and third frets of the A string, E flat, the first fret of the D string. So that plays 3 times. And then we've got the transition to the C. And what we're playing is F, A, open A string, B flat, B natural, first and second frets of the A string. Again, notice that rhythm going through it. Okay, then we're back to C, and we're going to play, we've got 4 more bars of C before we get to G. We're going to play the basic riff 3 times. And that's what we're going to play to transition to the G. We're going to play C, F sharp, G, C, and then that C doesn't come on an off beat, it comes on beat 4 of that bar. Then we've got 2 bars of G and a stab on F on the 3rd bar. We're going to play something like this. Really nice little pattern that. So we start off G, 5th fret of the D string, C sharp and D, 4th and 5th frets of the A string, followed by F at the 3rd fret of the G string, then followed by F sharp at the 4th fret, back to G, back to C sharp and D, then down to the low G, 3rd fret of the E string, then F sharp at the 2nd fret, then F, the 1st fret of the E string as the stab. So slowly. Then we've got a stab. Then we've got the rest of that bar's silent, the next bar's silent. Bass comes back in with the riff. There's like a 4-bar tag before we get to the next verse or the chorus. We're going to play this basic riff 3 times. And then the 4th time, we're going to play a little variation. We're back into it there on that C. So what we're playing there is we're playing C, E, 2nd fret of the D string, and then playing F, F sharp, G. So then we're back into the basic pattern. So that's the basic verse. Of course you can throw in variations, but that's basically what I'm going to teach for this lesson. By all means go through the song and try throwing in some variations. The main areas where you can throw in variations are when the C moves to F. That's bar 8 of the 20 bar format. You can also put in variations where F moves to C, which is bar 12 of the 20 bar verse, and then you can also put in some variations where C goes up to G at the end of the form, which is bar 16 of the form. So those are the main places where you can put in variations, but that basic pattern, basic structure will get you through the song if you're playing it in a rehearsal or a jam or at a gig.